worldwide. Every weight class. It's Lewis Heaton, Whiskey Bynum, It's the Boxing Rush Hour Show, hosted by Abraham Gonzalez. You know what you came for? Yes, indeed. This where you come to get your info. Listen up. Other shows throwing the towel. It's the Boxing Rush Hour Show. Let's go. In the ring we throw hands, octagon elbows. Analytical, critical commentary is necessary. A bevy of opinions, we heavy on the winning. This podcast is to break down the pay-per-view. For boxing purists, you'll let this man through. We rise right, surprise sight at the prize fight. Hands taped up and gloves tied tight. Ring the bell, want some, get some. Let the chips pour where they may. Work the George Crumb.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Boxing Rush Hour Show. I have some exciting news. I'm thrilled to announce my partnership with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert, opening up an incredible opportunity for you to join some of my favorite sports books. With the packed boxing schedule coming up, there's no better time than now to get started. Head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/fightsatw to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with unique offerings. If you're ready to take your sports betting to the next level and show some love for my brand, I highly recommend signing up for your next sports book through my Sign Up Expert link. You can easily find it in the description below. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Boxing Rush Hour Show, fights around the world, fightsatw.com. Today, I have a special guest. He is here in the Sunshine State of California, like myself, and he's got a show coming up. His name is Gabriel Fanous, president of Red Owl Boxing. They have a show October 10th on Friday at the Commerce Casino in Los Angeles. Gabriel, how you doing?
I'm very good, man. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, thank you, man. Listen, before we get into anything, for those that may not know who you are, who is Gabriel Fanous?
I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a partner to a lot of different people and businesses, and I'm a lifelong boxing fan. I've just loved this sport for a long time. I kind of stumbled into it by accident, trying to help a kid out to become a world champion, which is the same way that a lot of us get into this sport. But I just caught the bug. It's a very fun project. It's a passion project for me, and I just want to make a contribution to, giving people opportunities to chase their dreams. I've been very fortunate. I get to live out my dreams every day, so I got to pay it forward and help some of these kids take it to the next step in their careers. That's what this project's all about.
All right, and then so like I was going to ask you when the idea of getting into boxing took place, but you answered that. But the concept of Red Owl Boxing, how did that formulate?
Well, look, I noticed trying to help this kid out, when I first stumbled into the sport, that like at the time, which wasn't even that long ago, but at the time, it was really difficult to find fights for people if you weren't signed to like a big promoter, or if you're maybe an independent, didn't have like a good management team behind you. So I just realized like, prospects weren't really fighting at the time that I started doing this, and this is a prospect series for like fighters between 5 and 20 wins, right? That's like the genesis of it was like, let's build a platform that's consistent. Let's build some great storylines. Let's build an arena so that we don't bounce around from one place to the next. Let's put the infrastructure in place. Let's make an investment in this sport. And let's see if we can put on a good boxing product so that the fans can enjoy it as much as I enjoy putting it on. And I do this because I love to do this. I don't do this because I have to do this. So it's just a matter of like, trying to play a part in helping the sport take it to the next level. And I've been very happy to see that, like, ever since we started doing it now, more and more, money is being pumped into sport. More and more big players are coming into it. Prospect series now have become more popular, and more people are spending time to develop prospects. And it's just like, that's the fun for me. Like, when I'm watching great fights, it's sometimes watching a guy that is unknown, or someone who's maybe like a amateur champion, has a pedigree, or an Olympian, okay, getting an opportunity to turn pro and like, see what they really got. And to me, it's just like some of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. It's just like they weren't necessarily, perfect records. Some of them were lopsided records. A lot of them were not. for any kind of like meaningful title. So it's just like the sweet science is the sweet science. We want to maintain the heritage of the sport, but we want to highlight, people who are trying to be great in it and great fighters and people with a lot of heart that get in there and like just put on a beautiful performance that the fans can enjoy. So I love it, and I'm just trying to play my role, like I'm just doing my part, you know. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and you guys have, taken a different approach than most where if I'm not mistaken, you based out of Houston and have your own like facility where you have
Right,
events. And so,
right, right,
that is, a unique approach to trying to build up a promotion company. But now you've, moved on to getting out of Houston a little bit, and now you're in California doing a show. What prompted you to
right.
make that move right now?
Well, I'd like to build more of these facilities ideally. I'd like to have them all over the place, if it makes sense. And part of the reason why, we wanted to build a facility is just to make the logistics of putting on a boxing event easier, right? Control the cost, maybe change the economics of how this sport normally, functions, and also give the fans a place. This is a place that's just built for boxing. So the consistency of the fan experience is important to me, and it's just like you have to have a place where it's like everybody knows, hey, this is where it's going down. Okay, this I've been to the Owl's Nest before. This place is a vibe. This place is fun. It's just like I got good music in there. I got great food in there. I got alcohol in there. It's like, let's just watch some fights and like, that's what we need. We need consistency in this sport. That's what we need. So you have to build your own facility. And now we're thinking about expanding to different markets. So we're gonna take our show on the road and try out a bunch of different markets. Obviously, Los Angeles is a great, traditionally a great fight market. Great fighters have come out of LA, and it's like a lot of Mexican fans and people who love this sport, like. So of course, let's see if LA makes sense, if they like what we're doing, if they don't like what we're doing, like. Let's just explore different places, and then we'll go back to Houston, and we'll continue doing what we're doing in Houston. But it's just, I mean, if I can make it make sense financially in a non-traditional way, that'll make doing these shows a lot easier for the long term.
All right. And then I'm gonna put a pin in that last comment because I'm gonna circle back to it here in a second. But I want to know
Right,
what has
right.
been your biggest accomplishment so far with Red Owl Boxing, and maybe one of the most difficult hurdles to overcome.
I mean, the most difficult hurdle is always changing landscape of boxing, consistently in the past 3.5 years, right? So like that's the thing about it. It's just like, the media landscape is changing, the players in boxing are changing, the boxing itself, like some of the type of fights that we've traditionally seen, is evolving and changing, right? So it's a matter of like, just like anything else in life and in any other business, okay, you have to constantly evolve, you have to constantly innovate, you have to constantly stay on top of it. That's what I think we're trying to do. I mean, our greatest accomplishment, to be honest with you, I think it's like putting together the storylines for each fight card that we put out there. So the storytelling is also something really, really important to me. Like I want to highlight, where these fighters are in their stage in their career. Like tell me a little bit about yourself. Like why do you fight? What's your background? Where you come from? Like, why do you love this sport? Why do you do it? What's your family like? Just tell the fans a little bit about like, why we're choosing to put these fights on, right? So I think having an intro fight every box fest is great. That was like a great accomplishment. I think having a redemption fight every box fest is also another great accomplishment. Having a crowning where it's like, the main event, it's two fighters that are trying to, take the next step in their career, typically fighting for some kind of like a meaningful belt and like a ranking. So I think that's unique value proposition that Red Owl Boxing focuses on, and I think I haven't seen it done exactly like that. And honestly, like at the end of the day, I'm just trying to put on a broadcast and a television product that if I was sitting at home on a Saturday night, which I typically do, and watch boxing, it's just this is the type of show that I would want to watch and enjoy. And I want to see great fights. I want to see 50-50 fights. Like, I want to see the heart of a lion. Like I don't want any soft touches on my shows. Like this is like winning or losing is not really as important as like what kind of effort somebody puts in the ring. And honestly, I don't think, in the future of this sport, I don't think your record's going to matter that much to have like a flawless record. So I think that's just the era that we were in, and I think we're going to get out of it.
Yeah, yeah, no, I believe that. And listen, on Friday night, Commerce Casino, right? Your main event is Deontay Brown, 16 and I missed you. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
16 and 0. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
16 and
yeah.
0,
No, your video
11 KOs.
your video went out.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
Let me just.
There you go. So 16 and 0, 11 KOs against Grimardi Machuca, 17 and 2, 4 KOs for the WBA Continental Americas Super Featherweight title. Your video went out again. Um, and
Yeah,
give us a little insight on why this fight was picked to headline this specific event.
Deontay Brown is a really talented kid. We believe in him, and he's a southpaw. He's slick. He knows how to take care of himself in there, and it's his styles make fights. So it's just like we're putting him in tough against an opponent there that, like, a lot of people, like, I feel like, and he feels like, Deontay Brown. A lot of people have been ducking him. So it's just like, we want to see. If he can test himself, we want to see him be great. We want to see if he could take the next step in his career, and we're excited to watch this fight. I mean, like, it's not, again, all the fights that we try to put on, okay, these are really, truly, we try to make them 50-50 fights. I think that's part of the message that we want to get across, is that, like, win, lose, or draw is not as important as putting on a great fight. And that's our philosophy on that.
Yeah, and so you have aside from the main card that's on the zone that will stream at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, you have a
Right,
nine bout preliminary card. Now, this is where I'm circling back to your last comment because this one is going to stream on starfund.stream for 34.99,
right.
which I've been, you probably haven't followed me enough to know that I've been like real like hard on pay-per-view and fights and
Right,
events being behind a paywall. Um,
right.
what made you go this route for the prelims, and what told you that this is the right move to make for the people that are already maybe paying to subscribe to the zone to see your main card?
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to explore different ways of doing things. Okay, so part of the reason why we're coming out to Los Angeles is to, learn a little bit of things that are happening in different markets, how people are doing things. We're not saying it's the right move. We're not saying it's the wrong move. We're saying that, hey, this is an experimental endeavor for us to take this show on the road and to go different places, right? And if there's an audience there at the behind the pay-per-view wall that otherwise would not be exposed to Red Owl Boxing, that's something we're trying to explore. Like, at the end of the day, we might be doing boxing, but at the end of the day, this is a content business. Okay, so it's just like you have to get as many eyeballs as you possibly can. It was a very like not costly way, for us to try to see if there's like a broader audience out there. So it's just like, let's just try it, man. Let's just try it. Like, I'm not afraid to try different things, right? I do have my personal view on pay-per-view versus, like, streaming, and what the future of this sport looks like, right? And I, of course, like, the pay-per-view model these days, like, it's like I was at Canelo Crawford fight, 44 million people streaming it on Netflix. I mean, like, you know like I said, the landscape and the media is changing, right? So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to, you know understand exactly how we can build an audience that loves our product. That's the main thing that we're trying to do. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Like, like, I'll tell you, just from being in business for as long as I've been in business, okay, it's just like a lot of it's trial by error, buddy. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it is. And we're not afraid to do different things and be unconventional. I think that's like, you mentioned it yourself. Like, we decided to take like a really unconventional path to begin with. in this project and in this endeavor, right? But from what I understand, like, about you and like, your background is that like you're a true fight fan,
Yeah.
and like I'll be honest with you, okay, bro, like I, I sincerely mean this from the bottom of my heart. Okay, I'm putting this product out for people like you who truly love this sport. Okay, I love this sport too. And I just like it's like almost like you're putting your art out there, you're putting your heart out there, you're putting your passion out there. It's just like you want people to appreciate it. So to me, it's just like I just want as many people to appreciate it as I possibly can get exposure to, and hopefully it continues to grow like that.
Now somebody may come back to you and argue and say that, well, if you want the most eyeballs, you could put it on YouTube, but then you won't.
Well, I'm not opposed to putting it on YouTube either,
Okay.
and as a matter of fact, I'll tell you something else is that like, you know, uh, in Houston, we typically don't have this large of an undercard. That's another learning that we're learning here in California, right? California apparently likes a lot of undercard, right? It's just like, like we typically don't follow this type of structure, but again, we're open to it, right? And we're gonna see if it works and what doesn't work, and we can pick and choose what we like to do. But absolutely, if that's what the fans want and they want to put it on YouTube, I'm totally fine with that, man. Like I'm totally fine with that. I just wish that people tune in. Like the part of the outreach that we're doing here and doing these interviews and letting people know is because we want people to know, hey, this is a company that cares about boxing fans, man.
Absolutely. All right. And then so I guess ultimately, why should fans tune in, period? Whether it's the prelims, whether it's the main card in the zone, whether it's both, whether it's live at the Commerce Casino. Why should fans be interested in this event?
I mean, this is a boxing fan's love letter to other boxing fans. Okay. I mean, this is a passion project for me, man. I'm telling you the truth. Okay. Like, I don't have to do it, but I do it because I love to do it. And I'm trying to put out a good boxing product for fans to enjoy. And I know there's a group of hardcore boxing fans out there, especially in the United States, that are like me, that like, just watch any kind of boxing, that you can get your eyeballs on, right? And you watch a Red Out boxing show, you can expect an intro fight, you can expect a redemption fight, you can expect a crowning fight, and you can expect great fights, man. Like that's what it's all about. And we got Sean Porter on the broadcast, we got Corey Erdman doing his thing, right? We try to bring great talent and we try to put together a great product. We're trying to build a brand. Okay. This is a brand that I want to be recognized for just great content, great fights, and a great time. Like if you're at Commerce Casino, I hope we're gonna have a great time. And I hope to see you there too if you want to come out and have a good time. Okay, because I'm in it to have fun too. Like, I'm like, I don't just put on the shows. Like, I mean, I'm there, I'm having a great time. All my friends come out with me, like we live in Toronto, so it's like a lot of people fly out to these shows with me and we just have fun. So it's a great project. It's very rewarding. And you know what? Who knows, man? Maybe there's one or two world champions that come out of this platform, and it's like that's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. Lastly, what do you have in store for 2026 that fans can look forward to?
2026, we're going to continue to take a show on the road. Okay, LA is our first stop, right? We're looking at other markets, right? We're looking at potentially Philadelphia, Florida, Kansas City, exploring those places. But we want to, continue to bring great fights to fans. As you know, our main broadcast distribution partner is DAZN. Okay, all of our fights can be watched on DAZN, and you know we're going to keep signing great talent and we're going to keep giving them an opportunity to shine. And next year it's going to be, the best is yet to come. Let's try to do something great, man. We're chasing greatness out here, man. That's what we're trying to do. Okay. And hopefully there's a market for greatness. Who knows?
That's what's up. Hey, listen, Gabriel, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Wish you the
Yeah, I
best of luck
appreciate it, man.
with everything that you got going on.
Thank you so much, man. And any show that I do, you're more than welcome to come out, bro. You just send me a note, and I get you credentialed right away. Okay?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.